Let's be honest, 2025 so far, if you're selling stuff online, has been tough. Everything seems to be much harder. Things that used to work aren't really working so well anymore. It's because there's been some shifts in the industry and you need to know what they are and how to adapt to them. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the key shifts that you need to know about and that you need to make with your business for the rest of 2025 to make it a more profitable year for you. Let's get into it. Okay, so how can we fix our marketing in 2025? So you've probably seen this. If you're selling anything online, you've probably seen that ad costs are going up through the roof. It's becoming much harder to run ads profitably. And at the same time, high ticket conversions are down. And I'll talk a bit more about the stats behind this that I've spoken to a bunch of people and they've shared with me what they're experiencing as well as I am shortly. But with this ad cost going up and high ticket conversions going down, what a lot of people are seeing is that funnels that they have in place that used to scale and used to bring in good number of customers and profit every day are now starting to stall. Okay. And you do need to know how to change these things, but I'm not going to say that you need to tear the whole thing down and start from scratch. Everything that's working right now, I'm currently running ad campaigns that are at break even and bringing in buyers every day. It's still all built around the same core formula that has always worked. It's worked through every single shift in the market, in the industry, in business throughout the ages, really. And that is that if you want to grow your business, you need to attract more buyers. The more buyers you can attract, the better. You need to get them to pay you more money when they first come in, and then you need to get them to pay you again. If we're to put this in sort of ad terms, you need to attract buyers, and that'll be your cost per acquisition. How can you cover those costs to bring more buyers in? You need to get them to pay you more. That'll be the average order value on that initial purchase. And then you need to increase that customer lifetime value to get them to pay you again and again. Doesn't matter what your business is, what you're trying to sell, what problems you're focusing on. This is the core formula that is always going to work. So let's have a quick look at the major problems that I'm seeing. Now, this is not just what I'm seeing in my business. It's also, I've spoken to a bunch of different people who are running businesses that are everything from just hitting their first six figures all the way up to nine-figure entrepreneurs, and they're all saying the same kind of thing. And this is across those things. It's 6, 7, 8, and nine-figure entrepreneurs are all saying the same kind of thing and the same problems that we're all experiencing right now. The problem is that, first of all, these self-liquidating offers, which we'll talk about in a minute. So basically, if you're not aware, self-liquidating offers are offers where you can pay $10 today and you're going to make $10 back, which means that you've attracted a buyer for nothing. These are becoming harder to get to that point where they're break even, let alone profit. People are struggling to really get them up there because ad costs are rising, it's becoming more difficult, all of this stuff. Part of that is because a lot of us are relying on Meta, so Facebook and Instagram ads, and there's some big shifts there with Meta. If you are running Meta ads, you know that they're pushing people towards Advantage Plus campaigns. A lot of people now are just using completely broad targeting, so they're not even putting in target these people unless they have very hard demographic needs like women over a certain age, men under a certain age, geographic locations. A lot of people aren't using interest-based targeting anymore. They're just going straight for just let Facebook find it. And talking to a couple of ad specialists, they've been told by Meta representatives that eventually the ad targeting is going to completely go away. And I think Zuckerberg has also been quoted as saying that he wants to make Facebook like this, let's face it, well, it really is a big black box where you have no idea what's going on, but their AI will find buyers and manage all of your ads for you. It's making it very hard for people to run ads effectively right now. The major thing, though, is if you're running ads, if you're running self-liquidating offers, it doesn't matter if you almost break even. I just did the stats for last month for me, which would be May 2025. My ads ran at a 0.82 ROAS. So I was losing 20 cents for every dollar that I spent. Not really a big issue because a lot of those people are going to be joining my community or they're going to be reaching out for me for high ticket coaching and stuff. So it's going to come out in the mix within 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. That's fine. As long as I can eat those costs for that time, that's all good. But I was chatting to somebody the other day and they were saying basically they've just done a big launch and sales are down. And between that person that I've spoken to, which is coaching, an IT consultancy that I've been speaking to, a information product-based business, and a couple of other sort of coaches at different sizes and things too, everybody's saying it's so much harder today to sell high ticket offers. I remember a couple of years ago, I could spin up a simple 10, 15 email sequence and collect $5, $10, $20,000 depending on the list and stuff easily. It's not really the way today. We're seeing sales from even this time last year are 50% lower than they would be for those high ticket offers. There's just a higher resistance. Now that could be because of all of the macroeconomic issues. There's a lot of big cost of living crisis everywhere. the sort of tariffs and everything that's bringing in are making people far more hesitant to spend money because they don't know what's going to be happening in a month, 2 months, 3 months. And so it's very difficult now to sell things that are a higher ticket price to people out there. And you need to understand, how can you bridge that gap? How can you keep people coming in and paying you money if they're far more resistant? All of this means that the old playbook that most of us have learned and used and stuff, where it's ads to this kind of thing, ads to a free offer, nurture that person in a sale. This could be ads to some sort of common one is a webinar. Sign up for this webinar. The webinar is the start of the nurture, and then there's some emails, and then it's book a call over here to get them on the phone so that you can actually sell them a high ticket offer. This is becoming less and less effective. You're spending more here, so costs are going up. You're getting fewer people actually complete this and actually book a call, which means lower sales. So you're going to end up with higher costs. Sorry about my terrible writing. And lower sales, which is a very fancy way of saying you're going to be losing money. And it's very hard. If you're still optimizing like this and you're still optimizing for these leads that are coming through here at this stage, it's an uphill battle. This is not something that you can win, and it's just going to get worse, I think, over the next few months. It may stabilize soon, within 6 months, a year, but right now it's a losing battle. So what you need to do in 2025 is adopt a revenue first strategy, right? This is all about the number of sales that you can make. Forget about leads, forget about this, focus on buyers. You need a funnel and an approach that is going to convert sooner, scale smarter, and adapt faster. And that's what we're going to go into. So let me break down how we're going to do this using my ACCER model. This is the model that I use to build all of my growth strategies. And essentially, I've used this across multiple industries to generate millions of dollars in revenue, and it works. And it's built around those core concepts of growing a business, right? So you have attract, this is how you get in front of your customers. Capture, how you capture their details so you can continue to message them. Convert, which is how you get them to pay you some money, so turning them from leads into customers. Keep them engaged, and at the engaged stage, this is where you promote your high ticket offers. And refer is how you get one happy customer to start converting more people for you. Now, the old method, like I said, like a lot of people are still using, is to have an attract mechanism like ads that runs through to a capture mechanism, which will be an email gated webinar. This will be some sort of nurture to try and get them in here to convert to pay for something. It's great. It used to work wonderfully. You could throw $2,000 into ads. You could get a few dozen leads, maybe 100 or 200 leads, depending on your industry. And then one sale of $2,000 over here is going to be break even for all of that. And out of that batch, you probably get 2, 3, 4 sales, straight profit. Just doesn't work that way anymore. People aren't engaging as much over here. They're not buying as much when it comes to here, and all the costs here are going up. So it's not working as well as it used to. So the first change that we're making, and I've been on this, if you've seen any of my other stuff, that I've been on this sort of path for a while, is we're removing the free stuff from here. No more free stuff. What free stuff does is it attracts those freebie seekers, people who come into your business with something for free samples kind of thing. The likelihood that they're going to buy is very slim nowadays, with the resistance to paying a lot of money and high ticket offers increasing. The likelihood that even a small number of those freebie seekers are going to convert is much lower than it used to be, which makes that whole economic system that you built up in the old method completely unviable. So we're getting rid of this. The capture mechanic for us now is, if I can spell, pixel. So what we're doing is anybody who checks anything out, we're pixeling them with Facebook ad pixel. If you're using Google ads, whether they're YouTube, whether they're search ads, whatever, anybody who checks out key products, that is a digital hand raise. We're not collecting those people's information, but then we're hitting them with ads. And we're basically building this front end of the system, attract, capture, convert, to be the self-liquidating offer. So the capture mechanic for us is that pixeling. People who come in, we're going to pixel them. We're going to keep serving them with ads because they've expressed some kind of interest in what we're offering. And I can go into more detail if you're interested. Drop a comment and I can talk about the different audiences that I set up for that kind of stuff, because we layer those audiences and it's working reasonably well. Okay, so once you've got rid of the freebie seekers and you're no longer collecting emails with a free lead magnet for people who are never going to convert, and you're just hitting them with a pixel instead so that you can retarget them with ads to not attract freebie seekers, but to turn them into buyers and only focus on those buyers, you actually need to make sure that all of this actually is a self-liquidating offer. And that comes down to the system. The basic system that I was built for all of the offers is a front-end offer, a bump offer, upsell 1, upsell 2. These can have downsells with like split pay options or trials, depending on what the offer is. But we're doing this, and what we're trying to hit is a potential order value across all of these of around $250. So my current one is 27, 47, 97, 99. What I'm finding with this is that while the potential order value is $250, not everyone's going to take it. Everybody buys the front end product in the sense of everyone who comes in as a customer. We see about 30% here. We're aiming for 15% here. We're currently getting, I think, 12. And then we're aiming for about 5 here, and we're getting about 3 there. And what that will do is mean that the average order value of somebody who comes into that funnel, take everybody over the month, and you'll say that on average for each person coming through, we're making about $70. That's enough to cover the ad spend and make all of this stuff over here self-liquidating, which basically means that I can afford to spend money on ads and get them in here. Like I said, I'm reworking this because at the minute I'm at a 0.82 ROAS, which means I'm losing money. But essentially, that front end system, no more freebies. We're getting people down to this convert stage as soon as possible, and we're tweaking this system here to make sure that we have the highest average order value possible, because we need to be covering those costs. You need to stop thinking of this as like a brand market or anything of this, and where, oh, we're getting leads, we're getting seen by people. We're in this period where it's much harder to sell, and we've got to stay alive for the next 6, 12, 18 months through this hard period. And the best way that you can do that is approach everything as a direct response marketer, right? Look at the returns, look at testing, look at, I'm going to put this money down. How much money am I getting back? If I pay $100 today, am I going to make $102 back tomorrow? It's about bringing customers, self-liquidating here on this front end, and basically making sure that you don't lose money. Now with this, a big thing is going to be speed and testing. Like I said, for May, we had a 0.82 ROAS, which isn't bad. It's not great. Part of that is because it would be at break even, but I did a test with some new kinds of ads and they didn't work. So I ended up wasting a couple $100 on some ads that didn't work, which kind of dropped my ROAS for this. If I would have left the other ads running, I think we'd be at just minor profit. But the key thing here is speed and testing, right? The faster you can test these funnels to find what works and what doesn't, the better. If you have free lead magnets that you've been using in the past, start charging for them. Polish them up, turn them into a paid offer, even if it's only like a $20 offer, and start running them as paid offers. You will get far fewer leads. You might go from 50 leads a day down to 5. But each of those 5 is actually a paying customer at that point, which is worth far more. Each one of them is worth 200 of the free leads. So what you have to do is you have to be very quick at testing new things and adapting to this to make sure that the average order value is going to be greater than the cost per acquisition. This is just the very simple key and the core element of making sure that your self-liquidating element over here is self-liquidating. So with that, what most people would then do, if we look at the ACCER model, is they would get people in here at convert, and then they would put the engage stage, and there's a nurture and ascension sequence, call it what you will, that would go to a high ticket offer. That high ticket offer would be at least $2,000. You would then be like, these people are buyers. I'm going to introduce this next problem to them, and I'm going to position my high ticket solution as the best offer that they can then take. That used to work really well, and I did that for years and it worked really well. But that resistance is becoming much more. Free offers to high ticket offers. Here's a free checklist. Buy this. Hey, do you want to pay me $2,000? Doesn't really work. It's with this resistance to that high ticket offer, it's not really working very well at all anymore. It's very difficult to even break even on this. And when this is your primary profit driver and you can't even break even on it, where's the money coming from? It's not you just losing money. Low ticket offer to cover those costs, a high ticket offer still works. It just does not work as well. Like I said, a lot of people are seeing around 50% decrease in conversions for the high ticket offer. It's not really good enough to get people in. So what we're building in is these mid-ticket offers. Okay, so if you've got a low ticket offer, which is say $27, you've got your high ticket, which let's just call this $2,000 per person. That could be $2,000 a month or whatever. We want to build a mid-ticket offer in, and these mid-ticket offers are 97 to say 500. The reason that we want to build these in is for 2 reasons. Primary reason, no surprises, is for revenue. Those 3 core rules: get the buyers in, get them to pay you more, get them to pay you again. This is get them to pay you again. If people have a lot of resistance to a $2,000 plus offer, see if you can't cut that down a little bit and offer it for 500. The resistance is much less, the risk much less. If you put the same amount of marketing effort that you would into a 2K offer, into a $500 offer, you should still be able to collect more revenue from those users, increasing that lifetime value and making sure that you can survive this period until things pick back up. People are less hesitant and people are willing to spend more money. Okay. And that's really what this is about. What these will also do is, yes, you'll get revenue, but it also then acts as a bridge. You'll find there's always going to be people willing to spend money. It's just finding them. Somebody who spends 27 is more likely to spend 97. Who spends 97 is more likely to spend 500, and so on. So with these mid-ticket offers, it's not just about collecting revenue for you. It's also creating that bridge so that you can identify serious buyers and then upsell them to that high-ticket offer. You'll still get fewer people, but again, you're making revenue here and you're identifying who to focus on for that next step. The $7 to $2,000 still feels a bit risky, so you're just minimizing that risk, building more trust, finding the serious people, moving them on. So we're building in a lot of these mid-ticket offers. If you're wondering what kind of offers would work for this, think of like workshops, short cohort trainings, all of these kind of things. Or if you can take that big course, cut out segments of it to help them achieve key goals. If you've got a $2,000 course, cut a quarter of it out and say, hey, this is the big problem people face. Here it is for $500. Easier sell, much lower cost, gets people in. Wonderful. You're just trying to de-risk that next step and bump the customer lifetime value even further. But it's a lovely bridge too. Now you might be saying, yeah, Pete, that sounds great, but that's a lot of work. And if I'm not making the same kind of money, this is going to be unsustainable. Completely agree. And especially if you've got like setters, closers, all of these kind of people who are helping you scale this high ticket offer, and they're just seeing the sales numbers go down. This section here, you don't need to do this all yourself. So it's all about speeding deliveries, right? And the big thing that I've really been looking into is custom AI models that I'm training on my systems and my processes. Not just going to ChatGPT, not doing a fucking prompt and giving somebody like a 2,000 word prompt that they can paste in and have to amend and adjust every time. Creating very specific custom GPTs that solve tasks. You see, what general AI is, in my opinion, is if you go to OpenAI, Claude and all that, they're very good at making things sound good. They're not very good at doing particular tasks. It's kind of like going to your general practitioner, your regular doctor for brain surgery. They're not a brain surgeon. They're not a specialist in that. They're good general doctors, right? So what I've been doing is I've been taking the systems and processes that I've developed and the templates that I've used, the same kind of templates that I used to sell access to, and I've been using them to build very specific specialist AI agents with custom GPTs. And I'll show you what they look like. So here we go. And if I was to ask just ChatGPT here and say, hey, write me an email sequence to sell a product, it's going to write a thing and it's going to be okay, but it's not really going to understand the system behind it. Now, you might have seen my videos where I talk about the email marketing system that we use to revive dead lists and also just launch products. And you basically run people through stages because people have different reasons to not buy. And so you go through stages of, we call them the adoption lenses. Some people are price sensitive, so you have some emails that reduce the risk or the perceived risk of the price. Some make it seem easy so that anybody can achieve it. And these are both built to remove hesitations and call out the ideal user, say, hey, come buy this. So what I do is, rather than saying, hey, write me this email and take this into consideration, we build custom AI agents. Okay, so here we go. These are the ones that I've built, and I'm just trying to find the right one. You can see I've built quite a lot of these. Launch sequence, email copyright, okay. And these are all available within Growth Models Plus. So this will then just ask you some key questions. I'll cut the actually answering these. Okay, so this custom GPT is built around the system that I created and I use to help people launch products to their email list. It's very specific. It asks the same questions that I would have asked the client. It asks for the same research that I would have asked for from the client, all of that kind of stuff. And then it uses my knowledge that I've trained it on to write the emails. It just ask me if I want this, so I'd ask all of that information. I put it all in, and then it will start writing these. And these are built around the systems. And the people in Growth Models Plus have used these, and we've generated thousands of dollars in sales from doing this stuff. But rather than a generic AI or even a prompt, this is a custom GPT that is built around a specific tested method that I know works, that I've tested in the real world, and that can be updated with when things change. Like we've got ones for all sorts of stuff, from copywriting to ads to emails to sales pages to helping with identifying problems in your funnel, all of this stuff. And rather than the user having to figure all of this out, it's just built for them. It's like answer these questions and it will take you through the same process that I would do. And so what I'm using these for is to speed my delivery. if I have somebody who comes in, rather than me asking them for 2K, because that's what I need to cover my time and make the profit that I need, I can offer the same service to them for half the price, and it's going to take me a fraction of the time. I'm probably still going to earn more per hour. My effective hourly rate is actually probably going to go up because these can help me do the V1 drafts of stuff for them much faster, which means they're going to see results quicker. I remember earlier when I said that your low ticket offers, you need to be spinning things up to test them faster. These are all going to help me test multiple things much faster to see what really hits with my audience. Now, AI is hugely powerful. Most people are using it wrong. They're using just generic AI models, ChatGPT, Claude. They're not taking the time to train things on template systems that they already have that they know work, to just get rid of their time and have this do the work for them. It's the same as hiring a VA. You would have to train that VA. You've got to train the AI. It's a much, much better way to do things. So if you are going to be selling things for lower cost just to get more customers in, make sure that you're using custom built AI agents to scale without all of the staff, so that you can keep your costs low but still provide a high quality of work that is based around your systems that you know work. And the best bit is you can even sell access to these custom AIs to help people do it on their own. You can say, hey, sling me $50. I'll give you the link for this. And that's your new low ticket offer that you can do much better. I have a bunch of these available, and I'm making all of these available once I've tested them and built them and tested them within the Growth Models Plus community. Okay, so let's quickly summarize what we just spoke about. The key point. First one, front load for revenue. Get rid of those freebies, start attracting buyers. You don't want to be attracting leads who are never going to buy. People's ability and also willingness to spend lots of money with you is much lower now than it has been in the past. So stop bringing in people who don't want to pay from the off. Start attracting buyers, okay? Use AI to help you test and deliver faster so that you can serve more people or get more done in less time. But these have to be custom agents. It's no good having them as just the generic stuff, because then it's the same as everybody else. It's not built around the system. Next one, mid-ticket. If you're not already offering some kind of mid-ticket pathway to the higher ticket stuff, you need to add that in. It's a nice bridge. It's a good revenue generator. It's a nice bridge. Basically, profit first is what we're aiming for here. We're building a system, not a single campaign, not a single action, not a single tactic. We're building a system that brings in buyers and gets them to pay you again. Mid-ticket is going to be great. AI is going to help you speed that. And we're front loading for buyers and revenue rather than just free leads. Okay, if you want help with this, check the links in the description for this, because there's the $1 product challenge, which will show you how to set up a high converting, high average order value front end system that will self-liquidate. Or you can join Growth Models Plus, where you can get all of the AI agents and everything that I'm building, plus community support, plus calls, plus workshops, all of that good stuff that will help you set all of this stuff up in the right way very, very quickly. 2025 is going to be a bit different for the last 6 months of the year. It's no longer going to reward the loudest and the flashiest, the people out there who are just going to be able to sink cash in to get leads. It's going to reward the people who are very revenue and profit focused. If you can focus on getting buyers in, maxing out on that average order value, using AI to scale smart, and making sure that you're getting people to buy again by reducing that risk for them, it's going to work well. If this video has helped at all, I'd really appreciate if you could drop a comment, like, share, hit the bell, all of that stuff. Share it with somebody who is maybe going through this. If you have any questions, drop a comment or come join us in GM Plus. See how we can help you scale your business. Any questions? Let me know. I'll see you in the next one.